Hold on.
Uh, Welcome to the Javier Mendez podcast. We are with Coach Javier in Dubai right after a fantastic victory for the debut of Umar Nurmagomedov. How exciting was that for you to finally get him in there after so many trials and tribulations to get him to the cage?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, he was ready. He was very focused, very relaxed. I mean, he's so disciplined. The kid is incredible. Like they asked me what separated him from Habib. I said, well, he's a better kicker. Habib obviously is a better ground guy, but the kid's ground's really good too. He's well rounded. He's really well rounded. We need to improve on the boxing area, but his grounds improved tremendously. His wrestling's improved because he grapples with Habib. I mean, if you don't get any better going with Habib, I don't know how you're gonna get better. Habib just smashes everybody, and he lets them work. But he smashes, lets them work, smashes, lets them work. So, no, he did incredible. He fought a really tough opponent, a lot tougher than I think most people thought. But Umar's just that good. So, I believe he got submission of the night too.
That guy looked dangerous. He did in the first round for sure. He looked like he just wanted to run through it and just take him. He looked like a very aggressive, hard opponent. And then coming out the second round, I believe it was that kick, right? When
Yeah.
Umar hit him with that kick. Once one of those kicks connect, which I've been in the ring with you and filming it, almost had one connect with me. I didn't want that. Those things are powerful for such a little guy. I mean, he's fighting at that weight class. Does he feel like a big guy kicking you, like a heavyweight type of guy when he kicks?
He kicks fairly hard, but I just his brother Ushman, I just held pads for him the other day. Wow, he kicks hard. He almost kicks as hard as Mowgli, but he's heavy. He's heavy footed for sure. Really, really hard. He kicks really hard. I mean, he pushed me back. I'm like, damn, he kicks really hard. His brother is something else. I'm looking forward to his debut in Bellator on, I believe, February 26th at Connecticut in Mohegan Sun. I look forward to Ushman, what we call the finisher. My buddy Jerry Ferrillo, I was trying to think of a name of a person that smells blood and finishes them, and he goes, the finisher. I went, oh yeah, finisher. Yeah, well, I didn't think of that. I was trying to think of other like bullseye or something like that, but the finisher.
That's a great nickname. Watching Umar fight, I'd been there with you when he was training in the last camp. He was supposed to be on the Habib card when he fought Justin Gaethje, and so
Yeah.
that was tough. He missed that, and it's like, it's a long journey to get into the UFC. He started over in Russia pretty much, and then the PFL, and then he found himself finally getting in the cage. And I was like, I wonder if he's going to have the jitters a little bit, even though there's no big crowd. Probably less of a crowd than any time he fought before, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And they didn't do a crowd this time, right?
Yeah.
For this show, because did that for the last fight that they had a crowd? Pardon me?
Yeah. They had 1900. 1900.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had 1900 for the fight before this one.
They have the Connor too, the same, because of the restrictions. They're very strict, bro. Like, okay, let me put it this way. I was supposed to fly back on the 24th with the UFC, so they text me, hey, you got to do your COVID test. And I'm like, okay, I'm in Dubai. And they're like, okay, well, let's see. And next thing you know, they're telling me, no, you can't come with us because you're off quarantine, so now they can't. I left the bubble. So when I leave the bubble, I have to get my own flight back. So I'm not going back on the 24th now. I believe I'm going back on the 25th. And I'm going with Zubaira. So we're both on the 25th to Los Angeles to then Vegas. But yeah, it's one of those deals, it is what it is.
How many months has it been? You've been there a long time.
Man, I've been here since September 7th. So what is this? That's 4 months, right?
September,
under 4 months.
October, November, December, January.
5 months.
Yeah.
5 months.
Just about
almost 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, four and a half. Yeah, 4.5 months. And I mean, bro, it's Dubai is just the hospitality. You've been here.
Yeah.
Just the beauty of the city. The weather's fantastic. Ever since I've been here, it's been like today was a little chilly, but still you can go out in your t-shirt. It's not a problem. I mean, the weather's great. The people are great. The culture, hospitality, everything we got going on here from Ahmed Jabber to everybody else. It's just, this is incredible. There's nothing but great hospitality, great people, and great hosting. I met a lot of good friends over here I met a lot of people who are becoming good friends, and it's just a different culture, man. It's a different culture, and I like it. I like it a lot. I like what they do.
It's a heck of an experience. I mean, like I said this before in other podcasts, you wouldn't picture yourself hanging out in Dubai for 4 or 5 months at any point prior in your life, 10, 20 years ago. You're like, yeah, I'll be hanging out in Dubai one day. That didn't seem like the trajectory because mixed martial arts was all in the States. So you might be going to Ohio or Chicago or something, right? I mean, you traveled to Japan for MMA before or kickboxing, right?
Yeah, Japan. I did both. I went when Bobby Southworth in MMA, first MMA bout. No, actually, first MMA bout. I'm sorry, was modified rules with Frank Shamrock. When we went with Frank Shamrock, that was the first time I went to Japan, and we did the K1 in Tokyo Dome. 73,000 people were there for Frank Shamrock fighting modified rules MMA match. So that was my first MMA match with Frank Shamrock. Then after that, I went there when Bobby Southworth wanted to fight Vitor Belfort, and we were against it. And that's what that's like the manager said, "Oh, we'll put him with Belfort." We're like freaking out because we knew Bobby wasn't ready for a Belfort. We're like, damn, no way, we're not ready for a Belfort. But Bobby was just seeing money. He's just, oh man, I get to go to a big show, I make big money. We were seeing we're going to get our ass kicked. We're not ready for this level. And that's what happened. Bobby, before the fight, he threw up all over the place, and I'm laughing. I took a picture of him vomiting, and that's like, right. We knew what was going to happen, and it happened. I was hoping it wouldn't, but it did. I mean, Belfort was just too high level for him at that time. I'm sure Bobby got better, then Bobby would have done well, but not at that time. He was, not at that time.
Well, speaking of levels, I mean, you felt like Umar came in at the right time for his career, like he's had enough, battle hardened, fights in other organizations made him ready for the UFC. At what order do you think he was ready a few fights before this?
To be honest with you, I think that he came at the right time. He came at the right time. He was 12-0. He fought some really tough guys, and the thing is with the UFC, everybody's tough. There's no easy fight. So he came in at the right time, and it's just a matter of step by step. He gets one more fight, a little tougher guy, another tougher guy, then a real tough guy in his fourth fight. Then the fifth and the sixth is going to be like, if he keeps winning, it's going to be a top contender guy. And hopefully by the fifth or sixth fight, he'll fight for a title. That's what I'm anticipating. So maybe 2 years, I see him fight for a title. After, like for now, like 2 years, like 2023, I see him fight for a title.
So now we're waiting for Islam, and that's what's coming up next, right? We're excited to see Islam fight.
Islam is fighting. They haven't given us a date quite yet, but he's fighting real soon. Or if they have given us a date, I'm not aware of it. But he has to fight. And from what I see, the person they're trying to work with, I don't think it's going to advance us any in the rankings. But the guy's super tough. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't see how RDA would have pushed him up in the rankings big time. This one here is not, I believe it's not. I saw stuff, but it's not confirmed. So we'll see when it's confirmed. The UFC let it out, and then Islam's got an opponent and the date and the whole bit. But I'm anticipating this coming soon.
It's reminiscent of Zubaira. Go ahead. Sorry.
He's going to fight too. Zubaira's going to fight. No confirmation yet, but he's fighting Tahir, Zubaira, Abukar. They're all scheduled, but there's no confirmation yet. There's no official bout yet. But we're preparing. The UFC usually they tell you prepare for this time. You prepare, and they give you an opponent, but it's not official, so you really can't announce it because it's not official. This is what happens to me. It happened to me a lot. The reporters will say, I'm doing an interview, and they'll say, oh, so yeah, he's fighting so-and-so. So I'm thinking, it's out? They go, yeah. And I go, oh, well, okay. And all of a sudden, I get in trouble because it's not official. So I'm not saying nothing because it's not official. I don't care what the news says until the UFC puts it out, then it's official. The UFC does not put it out, it's not official. I don't care what the news says. Because it's not official. It means the contracts are not signed. And the UFC has to announce it. If they don't announce it, none of this stuff you read is out there. It's official. None of it's official. You know,
Yeah.
and we've been through this before so many times. You look, oh, the news said this and this. Oh, so and so's going to fight so and so. So everybody's talking. Oh, they're fighting. They're fighting. All of a sudden, they're not fighting because why? The UFC didn't announce it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so what happens to these news guys? They'll grab a fight. Oh, they're going to fight, but they're not. It's not official because they don't have the contracts. Nothing's in place, so they can't just fight. They can't fight. So that's what happens. You know, so just for those fans that are wondering, you know, when you read stuff on the MMA site, don't believe any of that till you see it in the UFC official website. You know, that's when it's official. And I'm not looking there, so I don't know. But if I read the, you know, MMA Weekly, Bloody Elbow, and they'll have things on there. But sometimes the little words, propose or possible, we forget that. We just go, oh, so and so's fine, so and so. It's done. No, it's not. You know, scheduled. They put scheduled. You know, so and so scheduled to fight. Schedule is not confirmed. That's just scheduled. You know, you understand?
They might. So maybe.
Yeah, they get us with that shit all the time. And clickbait. You know, it's clickbait. You know, and let's face it, we do it too. You and I do it.
Essentially, I mean, we talk about a hot topic, but then you do give value.
Yeah, give more details than most people, but we do clickbait too. And you know, because it's interest. People, we give the people the interest that we give them what they want to hear. Okay, if we don't say nothing, we don't put nothing in our head. Like Habib situation, we don't put that out there. But then we do the podcast and we talk about it during like the middle of our thing. People are going, well, what are they talking about? I miss it. But if we put the Habib topic and then we actually talk about the topic, that's great. Whereas a lot of these other guys put the topic, but it's nothing about the topic. So we kind of do it, but we don't do it like that. We actually talk about what we say, but it's still, we put it out there. You understand? We're not just doing this Len Dempsey podcast. We're putting it out there that we're talking about this and we actually talk about it. Whereas other people, no, you read and you go, what the hell? It's nothing to do with that.
I have a thing. It was, so there was a video going around and apparently Habib and Connor missed each other by like 30 seconds walking down hallways, or at least that was the perspective somebody was trying to show. I'm sure I could edit something like that, but you know, if that's really what happened, that's what happened. What do you think would have happened if they ran into each other? There's still so much tension and, you know, from all that, you know, Connor did in the past. You think that might have broken into something that might not have been a good situation, right?
Yeah, I think so, because there's just Habib is just, you know, he's a forgiving person, but there's no apology been issued ever, you know. So, you know, it's only business. That's not an apology. That's like, it's only business. Well, okay, it's only business. Okay, it's business then, you know. But you know, you went after the country, you went after the, you know, culture, religion, you know, you went after the family, you went after the wife. I mean, you should have just came after me, come after the Ali, come after Habib, keep it at us. And it's all fair. He comes after me, it's fair game.
Right.
I'm fair coach. Say whatever you want about me. That's good. It's okay. You know, you play those games, but don't play the other. You know, come after Ali, come after me, come after Habib. You know, and I think if he'd have done that, it would have been good. And I think, to be honest with you, he's more, I believe the little things he's doing now are kind of genius. Connor's kind of becoming kind of genius. He's kind of coming at it, because I think Anthony Robbins has spent some time with him, and I think he's learning how to, the master of the art of war, you know, and he's getting better at it. You know, he is getting better at it.
He's a salesperson and a marketer. He's very intelligent when it comes to marketing.
Yeah. No doubt. But regarding me, I don't like him. I don't like him because what he did already, I don't like him. I don't think much of him as a person. So
can't just blow it off, especially when you've done it all over the world. You can't just take back those insults.
No, like, look, he's a great fighter, but for me as a person, I'm not going to go out of my way to say hello to him or shake his hand. If I do that, I'm betraying the person that I'm loyal to, and I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to start nothing with them. But that doesn't mean I have to like his stuff, or I have to go and shake his hand, or I may look at him or whatever. But hey, you are on your end, I'm on my end. That's it. This is my side. That's your side. Stay over there. I'll stay over here. Simple as that. No problem. No problem at all. Zero problem. You know, no problem.
I want to talk to you about the fight card that's coming up this weekend. Now you're going to be in Dubai, so you won't be able to watch it in person, and you'll probably be asleep when it's on. Or is it going to be during the day? Or
I don't know. What's it on?
I'm trying to see, because the last one they did was like morning over here in the States where I was at. I was like, oh, nice. Wake up, watch some UFC. It's nice to watch it in the morning to me. You know, I don't see a time on here, but someone can probably put that in the comments.
Well, you
But
got to remember it's pay-per-view, right?
it's pay-per-view. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So pay-per-view in the U.S. is huge. So if they do it too early, like start at 7 p.m. over here, that's 7 a.m. over there. Not going to work. And it's 10 p.m. In New York area, right? Eastern time. So that might be okay, but
Right.
you kill market in the like California and Vegas and all those areas. You kill that market. No one's going to stay up at 7 a.m. in the morning, bro. Only
Well,
hardcore.
the American way of watching it is to have a big fight party, barbecue, watch the fight in the evening. It was a getaway. It became a tradition for people to do on the weekends, for a lot of people.
I think ideally it would be good if they put it around like if pay-per-view starts the main card, maybe 11 or 12. We have to
Yeah.
look at the card, look at it. I mean, it's on there, obviously. It's on tomorrow. It's going to tell you when it is, when it starts.
Right. So I'm looking at it. You've got a couple guys contending for that, the belt, and to possibly if Habib changes. Huh?
What time does it start? What time does it start?
It's not telling me. I'm looking on here. I'm like, what time is it? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out later. I'll put that in the comments. You got Michael Chandler versus Dan Hooker, and you've got Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. How do you see the Chandler and Dan Hooker fight going?
Very interesting. It's a very interesting fight. They're both excellent fighters. Dan Hooker, I believe, is the better striker. Michael Chandler, I believe, is the better all-around MMA guy. And Michael Chandler's used to being a champion, so he's been in championship fights. So his level of experience is, I believe, slightly higher. But you can't take out Hooker for any reason. He's a tough customer, man.
Right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough fight. I don't know. And I'm no expert when it comes to not my guys. I'm no expert, so we'll leave it as I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to give you Michael Chandler's coming off of 2 KOs over Benson Henderson and Sydney Outlaw in Bellator. Now, the last person to beat him was Patricio Fiore, and he get knocked out. And that was probably for the belt. Pitbull, that guy's a beast over there in Bellator, right?
I hit him with that overhand, boom, bout. Yeah.
And then you get Dan Hooker right now. He's coming into this fight. He's coming off a loss to Dustin.
But that was a tough, and it was a really close, tough fight. That was no gimme. That was like there was no wipeout. That was a tough fight, man. Dustin had to dig deep to get that win. So Hooker is a tough customer. He's a tough customer. If you're not a good wrestler base, and that's
Right.
that's the edge where Michael might have the chance. He's a D1 wrestler, and if he's focusing on his wrestling and utilizing that, then he more likely will have the advantage. I believe if he uses his wrestling. This is what I'll tell you this. If Michael uses his wrestling, I give him the advantage. If he uses his stand-up, I give Hooker the advantage. So
I mean, that was a 5-round fight in a decision that Hooker had with Poirier. And then his last 3 wins before that were Paul Felder, Al Iaquinta, and James Vick. Okay, so yeah. Now he didn't knock out Iaquinta. It was a decision, 3 rounds. So that's what you got there. So it's an interesting matchup. So those guys are fighting to be in the contendership. I know that Chandler was hoping to be the replacement for Gaethje when Habib was fighting, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys offered him a fight, and he's like, no. He wanted to, grab the trending whatever YouTube views or whatever that indicated his outcome. But then you've got Poirier versus Conor. Now, Poirier's had more fights. He's 26-6-0. Conor's 22-4-0. I believe Poirier's probably had more fights in then, and they fought a long time ago. It's been years since these two guys fought. Do you think that Dustin's evolved since the time that he fought Conor many, many moons ago?
Yeah, he's a different Dustin, but it's a different Conor too.
Right.
People that are thinking Conor slowed down, whatever. That's just like saying Habib got worse. Habib got better. When Habib fought Conor, he's better now. So you think Conor isn't better? Of course he's better. Habib's better also. You know, Dustin's better. They're not beat up. They're still in their prime. They're not beat up fighters. Connor's not a beat up fighter by any means. Neither is Dustin. So to me, they both improved tremendously. Max Holloway, he's been in wars, but he's improved. He's still young. He's what, 29, 30?
Yeah.
30
yeah.
if most. So Max Holloway's on his prime, you know, and look how well he's doing.
That was a great fight. Max looked amazing.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but because it's too early for me, but I heard he was unbelievable. Everybody's like, he broke all kinds of records, like threw 700 something punches, landed 400 something connects. Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Your body's going to be hurting for a month. Like, oh, I still feel that punch from a month ago.
Yeah.
He's going home from that because those are cumulative, right?
But he's amazing. He's an amazing guy, you know. And, you know, the funny thing about the quarantine, you know, how good the UFC takes care of you is like when you get there, you're in a situation where you're in the hotel only with the people that are around you. You can't really leave, you know, it's like the, was it white collar or blue collar prison? Which is the one where they don't have fences?
Oh yeah. It's like the white collar prison where it's like a camp. It's like a camp.
Okay. So
right.
It's like we're in camp, but we have boundaries. We can't leave. Well, because I left the boundary, I can't come back to Vegas like when I was supposed to because I left the boundaries. So it's like they're very strict. The UFC is like, they're on it, man. This COVID thing is no joke. It's taken too many lives. And I've been vaccinated too. So it doesn't matter. The fact is,
they still don't have a protocol. Well, your vaccination, no, it doesn't mean anything, right?
But no, it doesn't mean nothing. And I'll tell you why. Because just because I'm vaccinated, I'm protected from it. But guess what? Doesn't mean I can't catch it and give it.
Right.
Okay, it might not affect me, but I can catch it and give it to somebody. So when you say that, you go, oh, well, hell, I'm no different than anybody else. So I can be a carrier, right. You know? So that being the case, yeah, you got to be careful who you're around because, yeah, I'm not going to catch it, but here I am infecting people.
Right.
You know?
No, it's amazing. You know, I've seen it. Oh, he got it, then he got it and he died. It's hard to say what's truly safe with this thing. It's still being figuring it out in a year is
Pfizer is it's a lot of problems with Pfizer, the US one. I took the Chinese version one, so I heard that that one's like 100% been controlled. But I heard that the Pfizer, and I could be wrong. You have to Google it, but I heard that there's some problems with Pfizer, and someone just told me that California is kind of put a halt to the Pfizer one, and I'm not sure if that's true.
They had some allergic reactions. Some people did. It wasn't like people falling over. It's like, you know, the headlines. You know, it's like. You know, shoot, Habib just bumps his elbow, gets a scrape, and we go, Habib injured himself in you know, training. It's like exaggerated, right?
Make a good deal than right.
So you're supposed to train the guys. You get some upcoming fights, training in Vegas. How will that feel after so much time in Dubai?
I don't know. Feel okay. I love Vegas. You know, just keep me off the gambling tables. So that you know, we're not in the casino, so I won't be near the casinos because if I'm near the casinos, the attraction like a magnet, very powerful magnet. You know, so hopefully I'll be able to do it. Stay away. I'm gambling.
Put you in another bubble.
I'm gambling with the Bitcoin and that stuff. You know, cryptocurrency. So. You know, and so far it's paying off. So, and I never win gambling. So, you know, it was fun. It's a lot of fun, fun, but I never really win. You know, never.
So you're looking forward to coming back? Has your vacation been long enough, or how has it been? It's still like you get so used to it that you like forget you're on vacation now. You live there. I mean, how does that feel?
Yeah, like I live here, you know, and no, I love it here. But you know, home is home. You know, my family's home, and I miss them. So. But I'm not going home. I'm going to Vegas. So it's a whole different story, you know. But yeah, no, I'm good.
That's cool, man. Well, I'm happy for you coming back. We'll do some more podcasts. Maybe we can get some interesting people on while you're down there. Get some guests. It would have been fun to have Umar, but he's still getting his English together. He's not super comfortable yet.
Guys don't feel comfortable because they don't speak English well, so they just don't want to. And I don't blame them. They'll say something, and this is the thing. You and I look at it like, oh, cool, we'll have these guys on.
Right.
Yeah, you're looking at that, but now their friends are on here, and their friends are going to roast them because they said something that wasn't quite right. They get roasted. So now what? You know, it's like you and I think it's cool, but guess what? we're not getting roasted by our friends. Now, if our friends were going to roast us because we spoke something we didn't say correctly, we didn't understand, and we say something, they're going to us. So we feel uncomfortable. I would feel uncomfortable if you try to interview me in Russian right now. I'm looking at you. No, even in Spanish, bro. And I speak better Spanish than they speak English. I'm very uncomfortable with Spanish. Very uncomfortable with it because I'm not good at it. You know, and even though I put myself out there and I try to do the Spanish interviews, I'm getting better, but still, I'm not good enough. You know, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So I can get why they wouldn't really want to. They don't feel comfortable. If we spoke Russian to them and we're as a Russian network, I bet you they'd be more look likely to go, yeah, I'm in. Put me in, coach. But right now they're like, coach, do I have to? I say, no, you do not. Because I can make them.
They're also humble guys, though. It's not really their drive. They don't, they have an Instagram picture. They're like, yeah, just sharing the day with you. They're not really trying to get you starstruck. That's not their culture. It's not their thing to be a big talk head, right? Pretty much.
No, they're extremely respectful. If I told them I want you on the show, you're coming on, they'll do it. But you know what? I would never do that. Never do that to them. Because why?
Yeah.
Why would I do something that they don't want to do? I don't want to do that to them. No. I'm their coach. I'm their head coach. I'm training them. I'm getting them ready for their fight strategies and the whole bit. That's it. I'm not going to make them. I'm not using my power and over the authority that I have over them. I'm not going to do that. If they want to come on, they'll tell me, hey, coach, come on. If not, it'll just be the Lynn and Hobbs show. That's fine.
That's fine. It's fine. We haven't really built the guest thing. I'll interview somebody here and there, but we could. But we're just us. I mean, we could.
We're not a guest. We're not a guest type podcast, and a lot of people, but we're not. And the reason being is that, let's face it, I do it on the spur of the moment. And then, so to get a guest, now think about this. You know how hard to get a guest to do it the time he wants, the time he needs it. And you and I are going to spend all this. Okay, I can't do it. No, I can't do it. No, he can't do it. Now you can't do it. Oh, shoot. Then it's like too much work. And guess what? At the end of the day, you and I do the podcast and we almost get the same amount of views, if not potentially more, with no guests. So the guesting is fantastic, but to getting them on there on a continuous basis is very difficult. And, let's face it, we do good by ourselves and we give information that people want to hear and the insight, we give good insight. And guess what? A lot of people aren't sharing that insight. A lot of people are sharing different type of insights. So we're kind of a different type of podcast in the way that we explain certain behind the scenes type thing, a coach's perspective, whereas all these other guys are just talking more
the surface, the next hot thing.
Surface,
top of the menu, the special of the day.
Yeah.
The special of the day.
Yeah, the special of the day, which is great. There's a need for that, but we're not in that.
Right.
We're not.
I listen to them. I mean, I listen to theirs sometimes because I'm like, what's your thoughts on the special today? It's just, I like these. I mean, just so anybody watching this, we are totally improv most of the time, except when Jeremy puts together the sheet for us.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's like doing it like the news. We just boom, 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 right? So we
need him to come back on it. I don't know where he's at, but it's like this, right? The only time I've ever really watched a full podcast was Mike Swick's podcast. I watched actually a few of his episodes. Mickey Rourke was incredible. The few of his I actually watched quite a bit. Mike Swick's amazing. He's amazing. He's very professional, and that's the reason why I know I don't want to do what he's doing, because he's going crazy.
You know how much work. You know how much work. We're just like, we show up in our socks. Let's go.
Yeah, what happened? I just told you right now. I just called you. You want to do a podcast? Okay, here we are. We're all on the podcast, but it's not one of those things where we prepared for. So if Jeremy can listen to this podcast, son, get on it. We need
guys over here. Give us a day. Give us a day's worth of ammo a day ahead of time. But then,
give us a bazooka or something. We need a bazooka. Because right now we got duds.
Well, but people still listen to this. The thing is, Jeremy can get you. You're going back to Vegas, so you'll be able to talk to me. You're in the same time zone essentially.
Well, also too, one thing of note that the Jake Paul still in the hunt for a fight, I believe, and they're still working on opponents. So and I spoke to Scott Coker, the president of Bellator, and what's the probability of Dylan Dennis, and then there's also Ben Askren, those two because they're highly motivated to want to fight Jake Paul. So that's actually pretty good, and I think we get either one of them is fine. for Jake Paul. You know, I think that'd be a fun match to watch. You know, I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting who can get what. You know, I'm thinking, you know, because the Bellator scenario, if you read, Scott Coker says, well, we'll do 1 for 1, 1 MMA, 1 boxing. I'm not sure that's going to fly, you know, from what I hear. So I'm thinking there's probably going to just, maybe they'll go after Askren. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, the same thing, like 1 MMA, 1 boxing is like saying, well, why don't we just do MMA? You get both. You know what I mean? So no, we wanted to start over here. That's the problem with that one, right? 1 game of hockey, 1 game of basketball.
Yeah, but also remember one thing, right? Remember one thing, which is a very big thing. This is a big thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. You want to do one boxing and 1 MMA, but hey, bro, I got 20 million plus followers on YouTube. So guess what? I don't think I want that.
Right.
He's in the driver's seat.
Right.
He can control what he wants. Mayweather, he's on the A side. Jake Paul, he's on the A side. Logan Paul,
I believe he has more followers than Bellator itself on YouTube.
Well, if you look at the YouTube, those guys have more followers than just about anybody, bro. They got more followers than even these major singers. They have more followers. And if you watch I just watched their little, you know, YouTube stuff. They're very creative, man. They're really creative. They're very creative. I looked, I went, damn, these guys are good. They're good. They're good entertainers. And so that's why it do pay-per-view buys, because they know how to sell it. They cause interest. I'm interested. I watch it. I was watching Logan Paul, Pokemon. He's buying Pokemon, and he's buying $200,000 worth of Pokemon. I'm like, well, and they did it so well. I went, and this is kind of interesting. You know, I watched this, so I can see the younger generation being a huge Jake Paul fan and Logan Paul fan. I can see it. Those kids
you have true metrics today. You have measurements and followers. I just looked. It's 20 to 1, 20 million to 1 million, 20 million for Jake Paul, 1 million for Bellator. You're right. Right.
Yeah, you control it. So when you have that kind of following, bro, you're the boss. And if you allow the other one to boss you, then you lost your market share.
Right.
You know, you're trying to build your brand. Look, if you're the leader, like the UFC, do you think they're going to share a fight with Bellator? Do you think they are going to let Bellator fight one of the UFC guys? Do you think so? Do you really think they will do that? Never. What's in it for the UFC? Bellator is a great organization and it's on its way up. They got a great promoter, but they still are not in that same category just yet. Now, when Bellator rises, because I believe that Bellator has the best light heavyweight division now because of all the acquisitions that they did. They have by far, in my opinion, the best light heavyweight division. Bellator does. Now you're starting, okay, now you got a little bit of jump. Next thing you know, boom, another jump, boom, another jump. Because Bellator is bringing all these stars, you know, from infancy, from no fights. They're signing them, whereas UFC normally don't sign anybody unless they've had X amount of fights. So Bellator is getting a little bit of jump. But it's going to take years. It's going to take years to get these guys into that position, you know. But they're making grounds. Don't mistake that. They're making grounds, but they're still not there where Dana's going to go, okay, we'll barter or trade. No. Well, think about this. Conor McGregor fights Floyd Mayweather. Okay, what's in it for the UFC? A boatload of money. Of course. Right. What did they have to lose? Nothing. What did they have to lose? What did they have to gain? Everything. Didn't matter what happened to Conor. He's not a boxer. Everybody expected him to lose. They hit a grand slam with that one. Well, I think they got a 50 million or something off of that one. They hit a grand slam, you know. Right. And what did they lose? Credibility. Conor didn't lose any credibility. You know, he didn't. And Floyd, you know, everybody knew Floyd was carrying him, so you know he didn't lose any credibility because they saw how masterful he was playing with the guy. He wouldn't even punch. 3-4 rounds, wouldn't throw 1 or 2 punches. You kidding me? The greatest boxer on planet Earth really is not really throwing much because why? He's afraid to get connected? No, he was carrying it. Who knows? Maybe he had a bet that if we go this amount of rounds, because, you know, he's a bettor, right? Who knows if to put some money that goes past the 10th round? Because who in their right mind would have think they would have go as long as it did? I wouldn't have never thought that. Because I'm telling you right now, if he fought someone like Canelo, right? Manny Pacquiao, are you kidding me? Yeah. If he gets past the first round, I'd be shocked.
Right.
You know, if those really had the intent to really hurt him, you know, it doesn't go, at the very least, it doesn't go past 3 with the Canelo or Manny Pacquiao. But I don't even think it'll go past one because those guys are so damn good. I mean, come on. That's just like saying, okay, you put Manny Pacquiao in an MMA bout with Conor, and you're going to tell me it's going to go 3 rounds? Are you serious? It's going to go 3 rounds? Conor is going to, unless Conor wants it to go 3 rounds, it'll go 3 rounds. Same with Canelo. You know, they're going to get destroyed how fast?
Right.
And they can practice. They can practice all they want. Conor's still going to destroy him, going to take him out. You can't just get that kind of skill overnight, even if you train 6-7 months of it. Now, another thing, too, to keep in mind, Clarissa Shields, one of the greatest boxers of all time, Olympian, she's trying to prove that a boxer can come in and do the MMA thing, but you're saying boxer, but you're training like an MMA fighter. You're taking your time. You're not fighting top-level people. You're step by step by step. So she, in essence, is a great boxer transitioning to MMA the right way. She's not trying to go out there and say, I'm going to challenge Cyborg right in my first fight. She's a very intelligent girl. She knows what she's doing, and expect big things from her because she's doing the right thing. Right. She's going to do, you know, Holly Holm did the same thing. Yeah. Holly Holmes didn't just come in and okay, I'm going to first fight because I'm a world champion. How many time champion Holly Holmes is? I'm going to fight Ronda Rousey my first fight. No,
right?
No, not going to happen. They worked it. They worked it. So in essence, Holly wasn't a boxer. She was an MMA fighter when she came in. So Clarissa Shields is the same as Holly because Holly was a world champion boxer also. You know, the same thing, no different. But sometimes people throw boxer. No, it's an MMA fighter fighting an MMA fighter. Just one happened to be a former, or still is, because he still wants to box, a world champion, one of the greatest women champions of all time. But she's a smart one, just like Holly was, very smart.
I've seen MMA fighters can do pretty decent in boxing. That's not a big shift. It's different when a boxer comes to MMA, and it's different when a boxer fights a kickboxer. Now their legs that they didn't have to protect before are open, and you've done both. You've done kickboxing and boxing and all of the different arts coming up pretty much, except the grappling so much. So the hand game and the foot game pretty well, right?
But this is the thing, okay? Kickboxing guys back then would go into boxing and they actually win titles. Troy Dorsey was a kickboxing world champion. He was also a boxing champion. There's a few other ones that did boxing and kickboxing. And they were champions, bro. So they're all good. You can do it all. But in MMA, it's a little tougher. It's a little tougher to become a pro boxer and an MMA fighter because there's so many disciplines you have to practice. See, with kickboxing, the primary thing we're working on was boxing. That was our number one tool. So that's why Troy Dorsey was able to title. And there's a few other guys that won world titles that they were just kickboxers because the majority of their training was in boxing.
You know, it's funny. I looked at some of the comments after that one podcast we did, and you're asking to change the name. More than not said keep it because they know it already. But there was some funny ones. I mean, there was like the Coach Bolo podcast. There was some hilarious names that I was like, they just had me cracking up. But then you realize, well, if you watch that video, would you know where to find Coach? You know what I mean? Like who's Coach Bolo? Maybe Bolo Jung fans are going to come up looking for you. I don't know, man.
Well, but, I think we should change the name. I just don't think we're in a hurry. But I'd like to change the name. Just put my name and your name at the end. That's it. They'll find us.
Yeah, we'll gradually ease into it. We don't want to lose our fans.
Call something with Lynn Dempsey or Javier Mendez or Javier Mendez, Lynn Dempsey. Who cares?
Right.
We can call it a name. And if our names are still attached, they're still going to find it.
Yeah.
If you take the name out,
probably be the AKA us, but some of the names they threw were
well, we can't use AKA. We know that. So, we already had that.
The reason I tied your name with the AKA is because it was tracking, because people look for you in that context.
And I'm saying you still can do that. I'm
right.
Saying the podcast, I would rather change it to not Javier Mendez. Say something and by Javier Mendez, la la la. I know I type it too. I type out Javier before I can even get to Javier. It goes Javier Mendez podcast, comes right up.
Right, and that was beautiful. That's to get found. That's why I did that.
Yeah,
and but it was it's like KISS, keep it simple, stupid. When it comes to computer marketing and moving your stuff around, so I could have been said something really cool, but people wouldn't have known what it was for 100 years, maybe. You
But
know,
I think you can still get it as long as the name's there. Some of the names attached, it's gonna come up. It
we'll
may
see.
not come up, but I don't know. Well, there's no hurry. There's no
Yeah.
hurry.
Don't worry, guys, but thank you for all those wonderful, fun names. I might go over them with Hav next podcast, and we will get fan questions. This was typical improv. Javier's like, "What's up?" I just wanted to recap. Umar's looking good, no injuries, everything's fine after that fight.
No, he's fine. He's gonna rejoin us for training camp for all the guys on February 4th.
And they're always helping each other go to the next level, even after their fight,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep.
They don't just go, "Hey, I'm going to go off on an island. You guys have fun training the next few months."
No, it's a family.
Right.
It's a family. Habib's crew is a really close knit family. It's a family, bro. That's why it's like you jump on one, you jump on them all. You can't do, like, Habib's the leader.
Right.
You know, that's why a lot of these guys go, "Oh, I hang with so and so. I hang with so and so." There's okay. You say that, but when it comes to real action, these guys don't say it. These guys do it.
Right.
You know, you attack one of them, they're on you.
Right.
So you know, but Habib says stay back. But I'm like Habib said, send me location. You want 10 on 10, me 1 on 10, send me location. I go. They're
Right.
serious. They're serious. You know, but they're honorable. They're not going to start nothing. They're honorable, but they'll finish it. They'll finish it. They will. That's who they are. That's how they were brought up. And, you know, in a way, you have to respect that. You know, respect them. You respect them, you'll never have a problem with them because you respected them. Now you thrash them, you make them feel stupid, you this and that, then you got a problem. Just like in Thailand, right? Respect the Thais. They're the greatest people, the nicest, warmest people. Attack one of them, they're going to get you because
Right.
they don't just that. They're not attacking you. Don't attack them.
Yeah, they don't tolerate it. That's how it
No,
works.
they should. They shouldn't. If you're attacking me, what did I
Right.
do? And hey, you got it. But if I'm, you know, so that's kind of like the mentality that a lot of people have. Like, you know, in different countries, like, don't mess with us, we won't mess with you. But mess with us, we're gonna mess with you.
Well, I got to say, our last podcast did pretty good. I think it was the subject matter. It had to do with, people want to know if Habib's going to fight. We're still going to find out about that. He's still training, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm training him, so I didn't train him today, but he's still training. He's still working out. But even in all fairness, he works out anyways. Doesn't do. All he do is train with me. If he wasn't fighting, he wouldn't train with me. So he wanted to train with me. So he's still playing with the idea. So if, like Dana said it, if someone impresses him, we'll see. And then he's got to get number one, mother. If mother says no, it's no. Got to respect mother, bro. And he does. So guess what? You can tell Dana yes. He can say, I'm doing it, Dana. Dana tells everyone, Habib's doing it. Mother says, no, son, I don't want you to do it. Shot down. 100%. Not going to happen. That's how he is. And
Well, he just honors his promises. That's what people.
He should.
He's not asking for parental permission.
That's his mother.
Honoring the promise of his family and family first above all, and that's how it is. That's normal.
Yeah.
That was a great little show, great little improv there. We will get the next one together. So you never know what you're going to get. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for probably one of your last podcasts from Dubai for a little while, I'm guessing, right?
We may be able to do one after Connor fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That would be fun to break that down. Well, we'll also try to do fan questions for that one if I know that's coming. So we'll get that in.
Get on it. We need help.